Good morning. NVDA, baby. What a move, man. Hey. Got the hoodies. Got the hoodies coming. Shout out Marvin. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome. What a move. AMD. That's my that was my swing. That AMD idea off 160. It's looking good. Excuse me. Morning, everyone. How we doing? Morning, Larry. Hopefully everything's good, Larry. I'm sneezing this morning. I don't know why. TSM, yep. Our TSM idea, pretty sick. MRVL, I think MRVL's back in play, big time. Yeah, our MRVL idea, our TSM idea, that's looking really interesting, that TSM. Look at that thing. Off that 20. Everything off the 20, man. So I got a video coming out tonight, and it's an interesting one, because as you guys may have known, if you're part of the group or if you just come here on the live stream, I've been positioning myself long pretty much the last 2 days off these 20 SMAs on a lot of stocks. And it just took, the thing that sort of sucks, right, is it took the NVIDIA earnings, which is to be expected. It took the NVIDIA earnings for that move to materialize. So I guess to be expected, right? The market really wasn't going to make a big move before that NVIDIA earnings, but pretty much every 20 SMA that we've been watching held beautifully and has now resulted in a beautiful upside move. So those 20 SMAs on, let's say, Tesla, on the SPY, on NVIDIA even. If you guys go back, we'll look at NVIDIA, 20 SMA. A lot of those 20 SMAs are really held well, right? Yeah, I did cut MRVL, but today is the day where I get back interested, right? We needed this NVIDIA move to get these ideas to sort of validate. I didn't want to hold it through earnings. I just said, you know what? Let me cut this risk and relook at it. There's always another opportunity. But I like what I'm seeing, right, on MRVL, on TSM, to now, get that movement, to get that action into the stock. So I think this NVIDIA move will definitely clear up some of these ideas that we've had. We've had ideas maybe a little bit too early, right, but still correct ideas, but just the timing was a tad off because of that NVIDIA earnings. But overall, the situation, right, held very nicely, right? The whole sort of game plan. So we'll see, right? We'll see. Google and Amazon look fantastic today. So, yeah, a lot of interesting looking setups today. Hopefully, right, we get some actual movement and price action now that the NVIDIA earnings is out and now that we don't have to wait and anticipate that move. I think that was clearly, right, the reason why the market's been sort of difficult the last few days, pretty choppy, very difficult price action. But now I think you should have some more clarity, hopefully today, some more clarity and some better opportunities, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see. We got that NVIDIA move. We got AMD up off that 160. That's very nice. That should be up nicely this morning. Still holding some Tesla and sort of letting this thing sort of bake. So looking good, right? We'll definitely reassess everything today on the live stream. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. And yeah, what's up, Marvin? Hoodies looking good, Marvin. Options Insider hoodies. The back's pretty sweet. I'll post some pics of that maybe today. We'll get those. Very comfortable. Good material. Nice job on these, Marvin. Appreciate it, man. Gonna make $75K on NVDA when market opens. Wow, Logan. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's a big one. Go buy a house, Marvin. Get it out of the market and go buy a house. All right, guys, let's get started. Welcome back. Press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Raj, thank you. Welcome to the super supporter. Appreciate that, Raj. All right. And I'm getting a haircut today, too. Man, does my head look like a mop. All right, let's do it. So, first things first, economic calendar. We do have, I think, a few things today. Nothing crazy, but we got the unemployment claims. We got the manufacturing PMI. So we'll see how this sort of sets up today. You guys can see right here. Today is Thursday, February 22nd. And you can see right here, unemployment claims and manufacturing PMI, services PMI. We'll see what that does. 8:30 on the unemployment, and then 9:45 on the PMI numbers. So we'll see, right? We'll see how that sets up. But 8:30 and 9:45. That's the two things to be watching. Existing home sales at 10 o'clock could be something to watch as well. All right. Earnings, we pretty much know that it was NVIDIA. I don't think is there anything today that's, going to really move the needle? You got Square after hours, but Carvana, nothing I'm going to take time. Let's just jump right into the market. But as you guys know, NVIDIA earnings last night, you saw the move that it created on the overall market. So pretty crazy. All right. Let's jump into the market. Let's jump into the NASDAQ. So on the NASDAQ, right, we were talking about this 17,400, 17,460 4-hour demand area, right? We were talking about this right here. Boom, 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 and boom, right? And so that was pretty much where the market slid to. We had to pull back into that demand over the last few days. Right as we pushed into that demand, of course, we get our NVIDIA earnings, which we saw the big upside off of. Hoodies aren't live yet. I have to do some inventory on them and get them all set up. So not available yet. So right, you guys can see that, right? We had that demand down there at that 17.4. Obviously, the NVIDIA earnings pushing us off that demand, and now today, which is very crucial, right? We are back above the 17.8. So we are back above that rejection point that we saw on Tuesday morning, right? Tuesday morning, we saw that very aggressive downside off that 17.8, right? Which was also that 430, if I'm not mistaken. And make sure I'm not incorrect by saying that. Yeah, 430 on the QQQ. All right, so we had that 430 rejection. We had that 17.8 rejection causing that downside. This was these previous highs all in here, right? And now today, we are back over that level. So what is the dream pullback today? The dream pullback today, the dream setup today is this, right? This is the dream setup today. Will we get it? We'll see, right? Will we get some pullback this morning towards that 17.8? Do we turn this 17.8 into a support, which was this previous high? That would be the dream setup of the day. If I see that happen, that is where I will start to formulate some long entries for the push back into the supply highs. That's the main look for the day, right? I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that pullback, 17.8 pullback, turn that into support, turn these highs into a new low, right? And then look to see if I can take longs off this level. So that's number one. Number two, if we do get below that level today, you still have this 20 SMA here, which has been a very influential level on a lot of stocks, a lot of indices, and including the NASDAQ. So if we do drop to 17.8, just be a little bit cautious of that 20 SMA as well. All right? You're pretty much in a channel here, right? You're sort of right in the middle of this channel. You got your supply highs up, right? Supply highs up here around 18,000. You got your demand lows here around 17.8. I would prefer to trade, right, at one of these levels. I'd prefer not to trade right in the middle of this area. If we drop this down to the 30, All right, we'll find some levels that are worth watching. So number one is like right in here. It's right around this 17,920. And the reason I say that is because I'll show you in a second. So we can pop on the short term like a 17,920 here. The reason for that is, let me just get this red. The reason for that is right here, right? We had this rejection, we had these rejections, we had this previous support, and we had this previous rejection into support, right around that 17,920. So I would say if you can get a nice hold intraday over 17,920, that could be another long entry potential above that level. You can see that is also where we're rejecting here in the pre-market. So my levels today, number one, 17.8 pullback would be dream, right? That'd be a dream pullback. See if that can turn into a nice long opportunity. So that's number one right here. Number one right there. Number two, we have this 17,920 supply. That's the number two level, right? I would like for us to get above that level and turn it into a support for another upside move as well. And the number three level is this major supply zone above, right around that 18,000, 18,025 area. All right? Got to sneeze. Hold on. Excuse me. All right. So that's sort of how I read the NASDAQ right now. I think these are very clear levels. Do you want to pull back? I think you do. I think that would set up a very nice opportunity. And just remember, you are above the 20 SMA. Okay, that's very important. You are back above the 20, which was a really clear rejection point on Tuesday. Okay, so 17.8, 17,920, and then upside supply straight up above. QQQ. So, I think I might be allergic to the hoodie. I think I need. It's obviously a brand new hoodie. I haven't washed it yet. It came straight from the box. That's probably what it is. So on the QQQ, right? What were we talking about the last few days? We were talking about this demand in that 421, 423 area, right? We were saying watch out as the QQQ comes back down to all this heavy demand. That is exactly where the QQQ held, right? This was straight from our live stream yesterday. Now, where did we reject previously on the QQQ? We got to zoom in here. Where did we reject previously on the QQQ on Tuesday morning? Right here. You guys saw that. Remember that 430? Really strong rejection at that 430 level, right? We saw that come in on Tuesday, and we saw that big drop. Now, today, we are back over that 430, and we are back over this 20 SMA, right? So a pullback to 430 would be fantastic, right? That would be nice, but I don't think you're going to get that pullback. If you do, I would look to set up longs off that level. The next level to be watching is 432. So 432 is right here. You can see 432, 432, 432, and 432 is holding here in the pre-market. So if we get a pullback, right, 432 would be an awesome pullback entry. This is definitely something I'm watching today. 432, very big level. That's something I would be watching, okay? Above 435. 435 is right here, right here, right here, right here, and a little bit right there as well. We have that 435. That is also where we're rejecting in the pre-market. So 435 is your first supply level this morning. If you can get above it, I like that long up into the highs over 435. If you get a pullback off this level today, I like the long back here at 432 for that new long entry. So 435, 432, of course our 430, that's a big level down below now. And then we have that high right up here around 437. All right? So that's the QQQ. The ES. So over the last few days, we've been talking about the ES coming back down to an uptrending 20 SMA, right? And this is exactly what happened again. All right, we had that 20 SMA hold here. We came back down to that 20 SMA here, right? And you can see the result of that pullback to the 20 SMA. Very clean on the ES. Beautiful pullback. Beautiful hold of that 20 SMA. Our 49.50 demand held strong, and you can see the result of that level. If we go to the 30-minute chart today, we can see some very clear levels here on the ES as well. Number one, we have the all-time high, which is right around this 5,067. You can see that is exactly where we're rejecting today. So we're going to want to see a good hold over the 5,067 level. If we get that, right, then you're obviously going to see some more upside. If we get a pullback, the first level that I'm watching is these previous highs right in here. It's this 5,046 level. This is also, right, if we go to the 5-minute chart, you can see 5,046, right? Look at that right there. Very clear hold at that 5,046. That's a very clear level to look for a pullback today. Under 5,046, right? Where's the next level? It's right here at this 5,030. You have this previous high, you have this previous high, and you can see how it held here in the after hours yesterday, right there at 5,030. Okay? So what am I looking for today? I'm either looking for break and holds above all-time highs, I'm looking for pullbacks to 5,046 or pullbacks to 5,030 for my long entries, right? Those are my 3 long entries right there. 5,067, all-time high. Let's look to see if we can get a break and hold above it. If not, pull back to 5,046 or pull back to 5,030 are the 2 areas that I'm watching. Very clear levels. Below that, you have this very clear level as well, right? These previous highs here, these previous lows. That's around 5,010. So really structured move here on the ES, right? Look how the ES, just sort of holds above all these levels. Look how perfect you get these holds above these previous levels. Very nice stuff there. So the next one is 5,067. All right. So that's the ES. SPY. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Look at this hold that's coming in right here at 503.50. Why 503.50? That is a perfect hold right above the previous all-time high right now on the SPY. Look at this. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so SPY, 494. I mean, just take a second and look at how beautiful that 20 SMA hold is. That is a thing of beauty right there on the SPY. If we go out to the 4-hour chart, we can see the SPY pulled back to demand, right? Pulled back to the 20 SMA, and look at how clean that 20 SMA hold was on the SPY. Beautiful stuff there on the SPY. Now, if we go to the 30-minute, right, we can see right here, we had a previous all-time high right here. This is at 503.45. That's the exact level. 503.45 was the previous high here from Monday, February 12th. 0212, February 12th. We also had that high here, right? Look at what the ES is doing right off that level as we speak. That is the exact previous all-time high at 503.45. So that is also this little high here from the pre-market. So this is a very clean hold right there at 503.45 on the SPY. So if we hold above that, guys, I would say markets maintain up, right? If we hold above that 503.45, that is a hold above previous all-time highs. That would be a reason why the SPY continues higher. If we fall back under this level, we're coming back down to this 501. 501.40, 501 level. Okay, so very nice, right? 501.40, 503.45. These are very clear levels. We can go back to the hourly chart. You know what? Let's go to the 30. And I can show you why these levels are on my screen. So you can see right here, right? 501.35. That's right here. That's the hold that came in on the pre-market. 503.45. That's right here. That's the hold that is coming in right now. So very, very clear right there. Look for that 503.45 level. Look to see if that can hold above today. If so, I think you can see further upside. Yeah, it's the same. You know, that's the problem. So someone actually asked me this question yesterday, Eddie, about the ES and SPY. Why do I watch both, right? Because there is sometimes a discrepancy, right? You can see right here, there's a discrepancy on the ES versus the SPY. you have an ES high here at 5,067, which you are still trading below. On the SPY, you are above the previous all-time high, and you are holding above it. So there's a discrepancy there. What I like to do, if you want to be very confident, is I like both of the ES and I like both the futures and the SPY ETF to show me what I want to see to really feel confident. All right. So if the SPY is above this level, good. All right. Now, what I'm going to, if I really want to be confident, which you can go in before, but if you really want to gain that confidence, you can say, okay, I like that the SPY is above, but let me wait for the ES to do the same thing. Right. And so if that SPY, stays strong and the market continues to drag higher, and then the ES does this intraday, right, then you can say, okay, I got ES above all-time highs, holding above. I got that SPY above that all-time high. Those two check off. Let me go ahead and go long, right? So I like to see both of them do the proper thing. And whoever asked me this in the group yesterday, this is a really good example. I hope you're hearing this, because I was trying to find an example of that sort of discrepancy that you'll see sometimes. There's a discrepancy right there for you on the SPY versus the ES, all right? I like to wait for both of them to show me the proper thing before going very aggressively long, okay? You can't really tell which one's going to be right or wrong, right? You can't say, okay, the ES is going to reject and that SPY is a fake out, or you're going to say, oh, the ES is still under and it's going to now move higher because the SPY is above. It's not, it's not going to, there's no way to say like, oh, the SPY is fake or the ES is fake. You just want to wait for confirmation, I would assume, on both sides. So that's what I would do, right? I would say, okay, SPY's above. Let me wait for the ES. If that ES gets above, I'm long, right? That's your sort of confirmation that you're looking for to take those entries, all right? That's the best way I can explain that. But that is a very good detailed idea of sort of a discrepancy on the SPY versus the ES. So you can see right there, it's still below, whereas on the SPY, it is literally the complete opposite right above. So very interesting, very interesting. All right. IWM, we can go into it. Really not much strength on the IWM this morning. The reason for that is it just doesn't have NVIDIA in it, right? And so it is pretty sickening and sort of scary to think about how big NVIDIA is for the overall market. At some point, this is going to cause problems, in my assumption, right? If NVIDIA has, if anything in the future, I mean, I'm not going to predict, but if anything in the future happens to NVIDIA, CEO gets caught messing around with an ex-wife or something bad, right? CEO does something bad. Let's just say whatever it is, right? Well, we can make up all different types of scenarios. But if NVIDIA ever has a really bad downside move, like really bad, it's going to hurt the market a lot, right? So it's very interesting, I would say is the right word, how important NVIDIA is for the market. I think I heard on CNBC it's like a third of the NASDAQ. So not good, right? It's good, but it's not. It's good when it's good, and it's not good when it's not good, right? So, and the thing is, you got to think about how many people, right? How many people are holding NVIDIA shares, right? I would say more than 75% of the entire market, the participants in the market, have NVIDIA shares, right? So, the tide brings up all boats, all right? That's sort of how NVIDIA is. So, hey, that's what it is. We got to understand that. And that's sort of, you saw the futures. You saw the NASDAQ reaction to NVIDIA's upside. So, very clear. This is why you're not getting it on IWM, right? And there's really no correlation here. You're just not really getting that upside on the IWM today. NVIDIA is responsible for a third of the gains in the NASDAQ this year, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's that. Let's go to the Dow real quick. Dow Jones, nice 20 SMA hold. We were talking about that 20 having the hold on the NASDAQ. Very nice. It did. Now you're just watching that high, right? 38,900, 39,000, 38,900, and 39,000. Two levels to be watching above, but I would say that 38,900 38,900. If you can get above that and hold above that, that looks like a pretty clear opportunity for more upside. Okay. All right. That's the futures. We're gonna have to see. We got it about 5 minutes until jobless claims. So we'll see how that sets up. We'll see if there's any more any more movement based off of that. But for now, take a second, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. 2,200 of you here. If you could press that like button for me, I'd appreciate that. Let's jump into Tesla. So as you guys know, I still hold some Tesla longs. It's done a really good job of consolidating higher. It's just taking a little bit longer than I would have anticipated. That's really the problem that I'm having here. But I do like how Tesla is still building. Right? I still believe that Tesla is on its sort of grind higher here. And here's why. Right? Here's sort of why I believe that's the case. Because over the last few days, you got your downside on Tesla, right? But I like how Tesla has now turned this 20 SMA. Tesla had a downtrending 20 SMA, right? We had this coming down, right? As the market, as the stock has been falling to the downside. Now, over the last few days, right, we have had a break and hold now above that 20 SMA, right? So I'm interested, right? Is this where Tesla starts to flip that script, right? Is Tesla now going to hold above the 20 and start to curl back higher? This is something that I'm really interested in watching. For my own personal position, I'm running out of time, and I need to get rid of my position today and potentially transition into some next weeks or 2 weeks out. But by no means is what you're seeing here on Tesla going to, I still think it's playing out, right? So I don't want to lose interest in this idea just because of my personal contract that I'm holding, right? Because this, on the technical setup, is still, in my opinion, right, sort of holding above, potentially creating a new high here, a higher high, right? You've sort of been creating higher highs over the last few weeks, right? You have a low here, higher low. You have a low here, and possibly a higher low here. And so it seems to me as now Tesla's trying to build out of this move, but it's still under pressure. There's no doubt about that. Tesla's still under a lot of pressure, and it doesn't feel like it's free to move just yet. But what I would like to see today, is a hold over 195, 196. That's really what I'm looking for today. I'd like to see Tesla try to maintain itself over this 195, 196 level, this previous double top high. I'd like to see it try to maintain above that and continue to the upside. That's what I would like to see. We'll watch that 195, 196 level today. That's going to be the big watch for me. The major upside supply on Tesla for now is this 199.50, 200 area. All right, we had this very clear rejection yesterday around that 199.50, 200. Okay, but I would like to see it try to maintain this 195, 196, and you can see yesterday a pretty solid hold right around that 20 SMA. And I would like to see Tesla continue to sort of curl off this 20 SMA. That's sort of what it's trying to do now. We'll see if it continues to materialize. Do I think Tesla is affected by Rivian and Lucid? I mean, it shouldn't be. It might be because of the sector. But I just don't think you can even compare these two stocks, right? It just doesn't really make sense to compare them. In my opinion, there's no comparison in my eyes between Rivian's product, Lucid's product, and Tesla's product. I just don't see the correlation. But, the EV sector may be affecting it a little bit, but I don't see it that much in the action that it's affecting, right? If it was really affecting it, Tesla would not be up at all this pre-market. I mean, Rivian's down a pretty decent amount pre-market. I don't see much of a reaction there on Tesla. But who knows, right? We'll see. I personally do not think so. That's my personal opinion. So we got economic data coming out now. Here we go. Jobless claims, unemployment claims. Let's see. We'll go to the SPY, see if the SPY holds above that high. Wait for the data to come out. Right now, Nothing really going on. Okay, jobless claims 1.86 versus 1.88. So slightly lower than expected. Lower than previous. Market not really reacting to it. Jobless claims 201 versus 217. So slightly lower than anticipated. I do not see a reaction as of yet. So I believe that NVIDIA earnings is really going to be the focus of what today brings. I do not think that something like a jobless claims is going to flip that script personally today. So as of right now, pretty muted. I don't see much going on here. All right, let's continue. Let's go to the one we all want to look at. And it is a really, really, really interesting setup. And if this gives us this setup, man, this would be a dream. This would be a gift to all traders if NVIDIA does what I want it to do. If NVIDIA simply just pulls back to these previous highs and holds, this is a dream for a trader right now, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here. If NVIDIA just slowly comes back to this level today and starts to hold here, this is an absolute dream, guys. Look for this 743, anywhere between, I would even give it 740 if you had to, but anywhere between like this 742 and this 745, 746 area. If NVIDIA pulls back today near open and it starts to slowly move lower, right, into this area, and you start to see some type of a demand step up here, right, this could be a really nice looking entry today. So I would absolutely look for the break and retest of previous all-time highs, right? That is a major quadruple top. That is a major 4 top, whatever you want to call it, at previous all-time highs. And if you can pull back to that level, right, and start to maintain it, this could be a really nice entry for you. I would absolutely be looking for this today. 742, 746, that whole zone, definitely look for it. Let's see if we can get it. All right, let's see if we can get it. Look to see if that sets up. Okay? Very nice. If we can't hold there, right, then it could get a little bit more, but just sort of monitor. Don't be the first one to jump in. Let it sort of base, right? Let NVIDIA sort of base here. Let it show you that it's trying to hold, and you can take that very good risk-reward setup. Okay? 874 likes. We still can't get 1,000. That means ad time. Press the ad. Press the like. Yeah, what happened with AT&T today, guys? What's going on? Is AT&T like completely down? What happened to AT&T? I heard about this. Someone was talking about this morning. AT&T just stopped working. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon users hit by cellular outage. Uh-oh. We got a cyber attack underway. My phone's... Oh, shit. Is my phone off? Let me turn off my Wi-Fi. No, I got service. I got service. Little cyber attack underway. All right. So that's NVIDIA. That's what I'm looking for. I would have loved that pullback today, man. I would have loved this pullback right there. If we can do this, that's what I'm looking for. All right. AMD. So, who is here? Show of hands. Show of hands. Who is here when we talked about, hey, if you don't want to trade NVIDIA earnings, right? Hey, if you don't want to go crazy and pay, $3,500 for a call, or you don't want to go out to the $1,000 calls on NVIDIA, how about you take a look at AMD, right? AMD as a sympathy trade to that NVIDIA. We were talking about how AMD was coming back to that 160, right? We were talking about how it could be that really nice demand hold at 160, right? And how we could potentially just take a strong demand entry off 160, and 2, look for that sympathy move on NVIDIA, and that is exactly what we did, and we nailed it. We absolutely nailed it. We took some calls early morning yesterday, got out of 75% for profit, and sort of made the play free in a way, right? We got profits that were larger than one contract's value. So if I'm in 5 contracts and it's worth $1,000, each one of them worth $200, right? If I make $200 on that trade and go down to one contract, I essentially have no risk, right? We go from 5 contracts to one contract, this being worth 1,000, right? One of them being worth 200. That's not, shouldn't have that there, right? And my profits already on this, right? On this is $200. So right here, this is free, right? That one contract right here, that's a free contract. So that's what I did yesterday. And should look good today, right? Don't have that much size in it, but at least it's, we caught a little bit of it and a nice opportunity off that 160. So really good looking there. Today, though, right, where would I like to see AMD try to maintain itself? I would like to see AMD try to hold above this 172 and this 20 SMA, right? You can see 172 has had a lot of reactions in the past. Multiple reactions at the 172 level on AMD. So what I would like to see today is this little pullback, which is happening right now. Hold that 172, right? Hold that 20 SMA, and then see if this thing can continue to the upside into that supply around that 180. That would be my goal today on AMD. Let's see if we can hold above this 172. If we can, right, then we can get that upside opportunity, that continuation. So 172 is the level to watch on AMD today. Yeah, let's go to Snow because Snow is back in play as well, right? Snow is very much back in play as well. Snow needed a little bit more downside under the 220 level, but we are back above it, and it is definitely back in play in my opinion. You can see right here, Snow pulled back to that 20, pulled back to that demand around that 210. We did hold it very nicely here, and we are back over that 220. So what would I look for today? You could just grab Snow, right, above this area and look for that continuation, or you could want to, have a little bit more patience and look to see if you can get that 220 pullback. If Snow's above 220, I think it's good for upside. That's sort of my mindset there, but I need to see an entry point somewhere, right? I don't really just want to buy it off the open. I would like some kind of a pullback, probably to that 220 area, right in that area. See if this level can hold again, that 220 zone. If it can, then I think you have that nice opportunity for upside. So all about 220 on Snow. ARM is all about 135. We've been talking about that. It has to get over 135. Before we jump into like my really top watches today, I'm trying to think what else I want to go through. We'll go over Microsoft. We'll go over SMCI real quick. SMCI, I would say, guys, you need to be over 880 today. Okay? 880 is where I'd like to see SMCI above for that real juicer of a move, right? If SMCI can get over 880, this is where it previously rejected. You can see right here. If we zoom in on the 15, we can see we have that 880, we have that 880, we have that 880 right here. If SMCI can get over 880 and hold above it, that would be the real juicer move that I would look for. Until then, be a little bit cautious longing into these lows, right? Be a little bit cautious longing into the 880 lows. You want to move over, a hold over. That's where it can really get going. A beautiful hold of that 20 SMA below. SMCI does not have to be done, guys. So I would not, be careful thinking that this stock has to be done. This thing can stay irrational. I would just use the levels, right? The levels can guide you if you still want to trade this thing. I really haven't taken part of this trade. I just don't want to be the one that gets absolutely annihilated in it, right? I'm just going to stay away and not do that, the craziness. But if you are still interested in it, 880, I think, is the level you want, man. That's the level you want to see above. That's what I would look for, over 880, okay? what did I want to go? Oh, I was sort of the first time I've listened to CNBC in probably 2 years, guys. And it seems like they've improved what they talk about because they were talking about some very relevant things. They were talking about PANW and how PANW reported earnings after all the other cybersecurity and sort of cloud computing names. And PANW was the only one that cut their guidance, right? So stocks like Snow, stocks like CrowdStrike, the stocks that are in this sector did not cut their guidance. They actually raised guidance. And PANW, being the only one that cut guidance, dragged some of these stocks lower, right? It dragged Snow down. It dragged CrowdStrike down in the short term, right, on that PANW earnings. And I sort of agreed with what I heard on CNBC. They said, hey, you should be looking at this as a buying opportunity on the stocks that did not cut guidance, that got dragged down because of PANW. And I pretty much I agreed with what they were saying. So Snow dragged down because of PANW. CrowdStrike, another one, dragged down because of PANW. Are these opportunities? Because these individual companies did not cut guidance like PANW did. Interesting concept. Figured I'd share it. I think I sort of agree with them there. I am still doing the evening recap videos. Yes, I have family in town, and I'm not gonna. I haven't seen this family in probably about 5 years. So I am not going to be making as many videos this week as I typically do. Family is first. It's more important than people that yell at me on YouTube. Yeah. So, yeah. That's why you haven't seen a video from me yesterday and today, or yesterday and the day prior. But today I'll have one out. All right. So let's go to CrowdStrike didn't report yet. Okay. Well, you get the concept. Okay. You get the concept. Keep an eye on the stocks that got dragged down because of PANW. I'm not going to do what you got to do to sort of research that topic. Up to you. Yeah, the last call. That Brian Sullivan. I liked it. Is that new? Because I don't remember that being on CNBC. So I actually liked that little segment they did. I would assume SMCI should do an offering. I'm surprised they haven't yet. I'm surprised they haven't yet, to be honest. That's why I'm sort of staying out of it, right? They did. Oh shit. Yeah, okay. SMCI proposes offering of $1.5 billion of convertible senior notes. Yeah, I mean, you knew this was coming. I'm surprised it's not down on that. I'm sort of surprised it's not down on that. $1.5 billion private placement of convertible senior notes due 2029. It's not. It's. I don't know exactly the details of this, but this is not just a straight share offering. It's a little bit different, I'd assume. You guys some of you probably know the details of this a little bit more than I do. Remember, guys, I'm a technical guy. Okay, I can tell you exactly where a stock could bounce based off technicals, but I'm not going to be able to tell you the ins and outs of stock offerings. So I'm assuming this is something a little bit different than just a stock offering. This is a private placement on convertible senior notes. Assuming by the way the stock is reacting today, my assumption it is not as dilutionary as a stock offering. It must not be as dilutionary. So, because typically you would not see a stock holding up on a stock offering like that. So, I don't know. All right, I'm not too. This again is why I'm not trading it. So, yeah. All right. Let's continue. So, the two stocks that I really, really like today, Amazon and Google. These look very interesting. And you guys know we've been sort of eyeing and hawking this Amazon trade, right? We've been hawking this Amazon setup. We've been talking about this 20 SMA that is grinding to the upside. And we've been talking about Amazon sort of holding that 167. We've been talking about this every day on the live stream. We said how we want to see Amazon get over 171 for that confirmation of upside. Today, you have seen a perfect hold over 171. right? You can't make this up. This is exactly where Amazon is holding in the pre-market. It is a perfect hold over 171. After a perfect hold of that 20 SMA, right? So let's zoom out. You have a perfect 20 SMA hold, a higher low, 167, and you have now cleared, in my opinion, the heavy supply that has kept Amazon lower, which is at 171. So what am I looking for today? I am absolutely looking to see if I can get a long entry off that 171. Looking to see if we can hold that 171 level. If we can get a pullback, I would absolutely look for longs here at this level. If we don't get a pullback, then we just need to be careful of 175. Okay, 175 is that big level above. If you get over 175, it's free air up there. So, going to be watching this very closely today. Would love a 171 pullback. The other one that I'm watching, which is very interesting, sort of running away from us already, but it is Google. Google looks really good. Here's the weekly chart on Google. This is a weekly chart. You can see these are previous weekly rejections right in here, right? Rejections. This is now turned into support and support. That is very interesting there. Daily chart on Google. You can see right here. This is your daily. The daily, previous rejections, turning into support, starting to push higher, right? Downtrend. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see that Google is on the verge of that downtrend break, right? We can see this downtrend right here where we consolidated over the last few weeks, right? We're holding that demand, and this could be a very interesting setup on Google. Let's watch it, right? Let's watch it closely. So let's go to the 30-minute real quick. I think the levels you'd like to see Google get above today, number 1 is this 20 SMA. Number 2 is this 148. And, of course, the third one is up here at 150. So if I see Google try to hold above that 20, if I see Google holding above 148 today, I am absolutely looking for upside on Google. Very interesting and potentially even a nice swing trade. Very much a watch for me today on Google. Okay? All right. Netflix. Another interesting one. What did we talk about on Netflix? We talked about the 570 break and retest. We talked about the hold of the 20 SMA, which lined up at that 570. Look at how perfect that is, right? 570, previous highs, perfect new lows, right above the 20 SMA. If you can get a hold over 580, I like that. That's something to watch. Meta, another interesting one. Let's go to the 30-minute chart on Meta. Meta is holding right above the previous rejection point. You have previous 478 rejections, and Meta this morning is trying to hold right above that level. If Meta holds above 478, I would assume Meta tries to move higher. Possible that it tries to gap fill before that, which is down at 475. That is possible that you have to get a Meta gap fill before the upside continues, but that is a very, very interesting 478 hold on Meta. TSM, yeah, TSM, you got to get over 131, Chef. If you got TSM, you got to break this 131. You have 131, 131, 131, and you can see that 131 rejecting this morning. If you can get TSM over 131, I think you got your move, okay? Get TSM over 131. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. NASDAQ still maintaining itself. You got to get over this 17,920 right here. If you can get over that, I think you'll see that high. Pullback level would be a dream at 17.8. ES, pushing towards that high still, right? Pushing towards that 5,067. And the SPY is very clearly, right? Very, very clearly finding demand over previous all-time highs right now. Look at this. Look at how clear you continue to get bought up right above this 503.45 level. And the 503.45 level is previous all-time highs right here. If we go to the 1-hour chart, we can get the exact level for you. The exact high of this candle, 503.50, 503.44. That's right in there, and you can see that is exactly where the SPY is holding above. So if the SPY is holding above previous all-time highs, I would absolutely look for upside. All right? That's a big level to watch today. If you fall below it, wait for the pullback longs. All right, guys. Could be a very good day. Could be a very interesting day. Hopefully some good price action for us. Going to be a bounce back day for me. I can feel it. Last 2 days for me have been but this is part of trading, man. You're going to have some tough days. It's how you bounce back. It's how you stay confident, stay mentally strong, look for the next opportunity. That's what it's all about. So hopefully you guys have a good day. Hopefully some of these levels help you. Hoodies coming soon. If I can get this in the camera. Hoodies coming soon with a nice back. I'll let you guys know when they're ready. Slap my ass and call me a billy goat. All right. See you tomorrow. Peace.